Welcome back to Grey Goose, the home of K-Jet on YouTube and all things Mark II Golf. Auxiliary air valves. So I got a few of these in, done a few rebuilds. So I thought, hold on, got one apart. Let me show you what's inside them, how they work, how to set them, and what do they do. So roll the intro and I'll see you in a minute. So like we say, auxiliary air valve, this is what it comes like. Now to get them apart, there's 4 rivets, there and there. Drill those out, only literally as thick as this, not even that. And then the awkward bit is all this lip around here is a pressed over lip, so you need to, you know, file this down so this cap can come out. But you don't really need to because there's not much failures on these. So this is how you get one apart. Drill those out like seen, and then this comes off and you're left with these. As you can see, there's some gubbins inside, so we'll pull it out gently. So there's a center pin here, which also marries up sitting in the center of there. So we pull that out and you notice this plate will then drop off, and there's a tiny spring there. So note the way it's lined up, pop the spring off, and then we have this also. I've taken the bolt nut off the back, so you just push that out and out she plops, and that's what you're left with. So you've got a heating element and this. Now this has got a tiny O-ring sitting around here, that one there. These obviously can go brittle over time and break. So if you do take one apart or rebuild them, it is an absolute pain in the arse to do these, and they don't really need doing, to be fair. You could probably get away with flushing it out, putting in an ultrasonic cleaner, flushing it out again, you know, a couple of cycles of cleaning it, and it'll get back to where it needs to be honest. And a lot of it is a heating element wearing. So this doesn't sit where it goes to, should do. But anyway, here we go. This one goes in there, so I'll put it back together. So that's the O-ring in there, this sits in there, and see the O-ring seals around there. So pop that in there. And as we know, you've got an oval shape here, this bit and this bit. These are all perfect flat level surface, because this is your sealing portion, I'll call it, your disc. Now you can just see there's a mark on the side of that, a witness mark, just around there, because that's where it spends most of its life, closed. So it's really just the build-up of dirt on these and on the faces of here that cause the problems. So again, note the way it goes on. Spring sits over that little collar, that sits on there, and just hold it for a moment until you get the center pin lines up in the middle like so, and that's where it's sat. Now what happens? Well, I'll show you a video in a minute, because obviously I filmed it so you can see what we're doing. So 12 volts are coming to here. This is normally got a hole in it, or holes you can see through it. So I'll move this. There we go. Right, you can see light through there now, through this gap in here. Now relevant to where this is set and the actual temperature, etc., that will be open. And as it warms up, that closes. Sorry, there we go, fully open. And as it warms up, the heating element moves this direction, which allows the arm to move, and the spring is pulling it down, which closes the hole off. So as it's closed off, so when this is pushed together, this is quite tight, there's not a lot of room, so you don't really get many air leaks. But what you can get is if it doesn't actually close properly and you've got a tiny hole there and you've got high idle, it's probably because you need to adjust this. Again, you adjust this to close that hole up and that will stop your high idle situation. So again, that's how you're going to clean it really. So let's see it in action. So we've adjusted this to its most northerly position. So you can see a hole through there. If I block at the back, that's my finger. So all I'm going to do is put 12 volts to it, or charging current, what you get in your car. And then obviously I'll speed this up because it takes about 5 minutes, but we'll just watch this while it warms up. So as we can see now, this is fully closed, and that was 3 minutes that took. And in the book it says this needs to be fully closed within 10 minutes. So that's very good. And then obviously cooling down is a reverse. Now to test these when they're cold, the car needs to be solidly cold. So, you know, this will start moving in a minute. I'll speed it up just so you can see it. And then obviously we'll have to leave it overnight to be fully open to actually check the position of the cold start. So you ask, what is the point of the auxiliary valve? Well, the auxiliary air valve helps overcome a cold engine, helps overcome the drag of a cold engine. So what it does, it diverts air that's come through the throttle body, past the throttle body, into the engine to lean off the mixture to help the engine get up to temperature. And obviously as the temperature warms up within 3 minutes or within 10 minutes, that then closes off and the engine goes back to its normal fueling. So it's not unmetered air, it's always metered coming through it. So what can go wrong with it? Well, firstly, the adjustment. So this is set okay, it's working fine. So it is predominantly cold starts and post starts that has to be open, and then within 3 minutes of a scene or 10 minutes it needs to be closed. And if it's closed, it's fine. But if you've got a fast idle, check this when it's hot. Obviously be careful. So if you can see through this when the engine is hot, this is bypassing too much air. So what you can do, without taking it apart and checking it, when it's sat in the car, for example, Mark 1 Golf, over the back inlet manifold sits like such. So the airflow goes through it. So if you pinch the pipe and the idle starts dropping back down and then settles a bit, and you let go of that pipe and the engine starts speeding up, that tells you this is allowing too much air, because it's going back over the pipe and back in, so it draws in too much air. Now in the book it actually says if this doesn't work, replace it. If it doesn't warm up in time, replace it. If the valve doesn't fully close, replace it. Replace, replace, replace when there's a 7mm nut on the back to adjust it. So again, these are very easy to adjust. Undo that nut and we can sober them, you can move it. So when it's stone cold, you want, cold, first morning, take it off, and you want that hole to be as open as it can be. Then you want to let it warm up, let the car warm up. No, you let the fans cut in, etc. So as you can see, that's another way we can see when this is fully warmed up. This got to about 30-35 degrees, and I was using this little thermal imaging camera. Now this is from Top Don, link in the description. Go and have a look. You get a really good save in these couple of days. It's perfect. It plugs straight in your phone. Download the app off your relevant store, whether that's iPhone or Android. Plug this in, and then yeah, you can see the world. Especially with the heat wave, you can have a little play around, see how hot things get. You can look on rooms to see where, you know, the heat's escaping from a room, alternator bearings, wheel bearings, all that kind of cool stuff. So yeah, definitely get yourself one of these if you can. Ideally, what I would do is crack these nuts off. So literally it's just sat there on the pipes, you know, take the clips off. So when it's nice and warm, all you've got to do, pop the pipes off, take the electrical connector off, take it off the car and go, oh yeah, I can see through that. And if you can see through it when it's warm, undo the nut and adjust it so it's closed, fully closed. And then if it's fully closed when it's hot, when it's cold, it's going to have some amount of opening. There's a balance point, but the most important one is having these closed when it's hot, because otherwise you're going to get fast idles. So there you go, auxiliary air valves, everything you need to know about this little goobin, which sits on, like I say, Mark 1 Golf, anything with K-Jet Mark 1 Golf, not the Mark 2s, Ford Granadas, Ford V6s, Audi, anything you can think of that had K-Jet. These can be problematic. Yes, you can have them rebuilt. I've done 1 or 2, but to be fair, for the cost to get it done versus literally just soaking it in petrol, I mean, you could do it with that, or some degreaser. Undo that nut, put it in a tub of degreaser, let it sit for a while, shake it round, you know, get it all washed out. It's only build up of carbon and oil inside there, which degreaser will get rid of. And then the reason I said undo that nut is when you've got some liquid in there, is move it, adjust it. So all you're doing is helping, you know, scrape the dirt off that plate itself. And then, like I say, reset it so you can see through it when it's cold. And when it's warm, it is shut. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.